Now we have to resolve all the errors in the email project. On top of that, I want to create a model that we will push to the database. So here, let me create a models folder as well. The name that I will give here will be email log. It will be a logger to log all of the mails that will be sent. In here, I will be adding 4 properties. First will be the primary key identity ID, then email. Log will basically have what was being sent and the date time for that email. That is good enough. Then we can configure our application DB context the first thing. Here the DB set will be email log. Let me add the using statement and I will call that email logs. We'll remove the using statements with error. Next we have the application builder extension. Let me do control dot here and add the using statement for mango.services.email.messaging. Do not add reference to any other project. We need to remove this reference here and let me try that one more time. Perfect, the error goes away. So our extension method looks good. Our update payment result message, it does not have any issues. Then let's see the Azure Service Bus consumer. Here we'll have to do quite a lot of configuration to consume the subscriber. So let me keep this open and continue with the other files. The next file that we want to configure is the iEmail repository. Here we will have just one method that will receive an update payment result message in the parameter. So we will add the using statement and let me remove this order API. We need to implement this inside the email repository. So let me remove all of this and we will implement the interface. I'll remove the order API using statements here and we'll press Ctrl dot for the application DB context. We'll have to change the constructor name here to email repository. Then inside the send and log email, what we can do is, right here we won't actually implement an email, but in the comment you can actually implement an email sender or call some other library for sending out an email. Let's assume that is done. After that, we want to log in our database that the email was sent. So we'll create an email log object and we will populate the properties here. So we'll receive the message. In there we'll have email. Next email sent will be datetime.now. And finally inside log, I will add a custom string that order ID has been created successfully. That looks good for the email log. After that, we need to create an application DB context and add this email log. We are using the DB context options. So we'll say using var underscore DB is equal to new application DB context. We have to pass the DB context here. And on there we have underscore DB dot add email log. We can also explicitly say here that we want to add it to email logs and let me add the async keyword. Once we add that, we will save the changes. Pretty straightforward. So with that, we have implemented a send and log email method in our email repository. One last thing that will be remaining is add a connection string in app settings and configure the startup class file. So inside the orders API, let me open up the app settings. We will copy the connection string and paste that here. Along with that, let me also copy all 5 of these. We won't need them, but let me paste them here. We will need the service bus connection. Then we will need a topic name and a subscription name. So we have the order update payment result topic. That is good. We just need one subscription name. So I can remove these 2 here and I will create a subscription name here. We will call that as email subscription. Perfect. So with this, our app settings looks good. Last thing is the startup class file. Right now we are in the orders API startup class file. Let me scroll down and copy everything till the Azure Service Bus consumer. Let me close this and let me minimize the orders API. Go back to our email here, open up the startup class file, and let me paste those. I will add all the using statements. We don't need automapper. Let me remove that. And the repository will be email repository. And we'll have to implement a singleton because we are using the Azure Service Bus that we will be starting. Then inside our extension, we have the use Azure Service Bus consumer. We need to call this in the startup as well. So right here, we will call that and add the using statement. Perfect. So with this, our startup file looks great. The only thing that we have to work on now is the Azure Service Bus consumer. Let's do that in the next video.